Lucky Lefty Podcast, Onora Boys in the building. Brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, you got to do it.
Responsibly.
Let's get it. Lucky Lefty, Onora Boys in the building. MALIK, ZAIRE, SHAUN Davis. I'm getting feedback on your end, Left. Brought to you by Onora Whiskey. Lock in. Today we're talking GM Mike Martin introduction. Jaan Cider on the running back rotation. 2 new running back offers we'll check out. And then we'll hear from former Notre Dame players on who they think or what their thoughts are on the quarterback competition. We received news. Yeah, I can hear myself in feedback. I don't know if you need to cut
Is it okay? Let me come back in.
Lucky Lefty Podcast, Left will be back in. Man, we hope everybody can lock in. GTB questions, get them in. We're back in effect. Busy week for myself last week. I had 3 deaths, 3 services, so I wanted to do shows, but I was covering families and performing services, and it was just a tough week. It was a long, emotional, tough week that went into this week, but we're back. Breaking news today, March the 19th. March the 19th will be the first spring practice. Our first full practice of viewing will be April the 5th. And then, of course, the blue and gold game is April the 12th. So once again, the first spring practice is March the 19th. My assumption is that a day or two after that will probably be the pro day. Somewhere around in there. That's usually the way it goes. I believe the pro day was on the 22nd, one in 23, the 24th last year. So I would expect like the 21st or the 22nd to be the pro day once again this year. Left will be right back in. We appreciate you guys for tapping in. Your GTB questions, get them in. Also, your super chats, get them in because we're going to get to them immediately. And today, I'm still getting feedback unless I put you on mute.
Is it static or something?
No, I can just hear myself coming back through the broadcast.
Because it sounds fine on my end. Okay, let me.
Now, if I mute you while I'm talking, I can't hear.
Okay.
So you're just going to have to.
What about now?
Can you hear me?
Okay, how's it sound now? It's the same?
It's good to me.
Oh, okay, so we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what you did, but it's good. So, let's see, Left. What do you want to jump into first? We can hear from Mike Martin.
We gotta get into Chad's comments. Chad.
Okay, go ahead. Let loose, Left. Let loose, because we haven't been on in a minute. Go ahead, let loose. Chad. He's saying it with his chest out there on the West Coast.
What guy is it? The sun got him so confident or something? Because oh my gosh, because he's just like acting like he was at some
D3,
Duquesne or something like that. Like, what are you talking about?
Not the Dukes. Dukes.
He doesn't talk like he was at Duquesne with no budget, no recruiting opportunity. Coach was trash. Like, dude, you came from a team that went to the national championship with the coach of the year, with doing less, but you learn so much more of professionalism. And shame on you, Chad, that you steadily sneak dissing us For what? You got your money. You in the sun. You got your taxes that you obviously are gonna be really thankful for, whatever. But still, I think it's very showing of how you really feel by possibly Notre Dame possibly giving you a low key kick to the curb, because that's how you acting. You're like the guy that got fired from the job he really, really wanted, and then he gets picked up by the competitor, and now he's big and bad. Oh, I didn't want to be there anyway. Oh, like you like talk bad about the girl you couldn't get. Oh, she's a hoe. Oh, she been with everybody. Oh, she ain't this, she ain't that. Sound like you got dumb. But it's okay.
Oh
Because at the
man.
end of the day, we'll see. You're on the schedule.
Oh,
I know
October
y'all
18th. October 18th, baby.
I know y'all trying to get us off the schedule, but we're on the schedule, Chad. We will see. So these are things that we're just jotting in our notebook of remembrance, because what you're doing right now is baffling. We have to see you. I can understand if you was in the lowly Pac-12 or the lowly Big 12 or whatever. You're on our schedule. So I don't want to, I get that you're happy where you're at, but you don't have to down a place to credit somewhere else. That's what they always say. You don't got to down somebody to pick somebody up.
Not at all.
But you can't help. I don't feel like you've ever talked about SC without mentioning or sneak dissing Notre Dame. So is USC your rebound chick? That's the chick you got real quick. So you like, yeah, well, I got her over here. She cooked. She do everything better. What you didn't do. You don't even know the girl personality. You don't really know her like that. She just do the one or two things that you didn't get where you really want to be. So I get it. I get it. But once you hear that Irish band coming in and you see that blue and gold flying around, you're gonna be regretful, pounding sand. But man, Chad, you almost as bad as SD is with them Lakers, man. Number 2 in the West, by the way.
What did I say about the Lakers?
LeBron playing like an MVP.
Dude, I don't code switch like you. I stand on mine. I said he'll never win another championship, and I stand on that. I'm not moving.
Are you sure? The way they playing right now, LeBron
Did you hear what I said? I don't code switch. You code switch. You got 15 NFL jerseys. I don't.
I only got 2.
No, you got more than 2. Stop lying. You got more than 2. Stop. You got a Chiefs jersey. You already posted the Priest Holmes Chiefs jersey. So you're a Chiefs fan, you're a Jaguars fan, and you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan because you got a Joe Burrow jersey. No, I don't want to hear that. Get back to the conversation. You always try to take a detour with LeBum. Go ahead, get back to the conversation.
Not the guy that's about to win MVP at 40.
Get back to the conversation.
So we know though that Chad is a little bitter, and he's bitter all the way across the country. That's why Notre Dame is well liked in the aspects that they're well liked in, because we always find an imprint. Whether you leave us or you come to us, we'll leave an imprint on you. So, Chad, man, crazy.
First of all, the fact that you had the nerve, Mr. Bowden, I'm gonna say something that Chad, you did an incredible job. The resume speaks for itself.
You did a good job.
You were a big part of the roster being turned over and fulfilling the vision of Marcus Freeman, taking this team from 1s, 2s, and 3s to 1As and 1Bs. And the fruit was in the national championship run. This morning, I literally watched the Northern Illinois game and the Miami of Ohio game back to back. And I said to myself, this is the team that went to the national championship game. I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you kidding me? This is the team that went to the national championship game. I'm watching those 2 games and I said, I can't believe it. Chad had nothing to do with that.
No.
Chad didn't coach 1 down. Chad didn't play 1 down. So we can sit up here and talk about what he got on the roster. Where that team came from in weeks 2 and 3, you tip your cap to Marcus Freeman, you tip your cap to the coaches, and you tip your cap to the players. That's it. That's it. But the biggest cap of all is you standing before the media, the assembled media in Los Angeles on that beautiful campus. By the way, because my money went to that campus.
Money was your money was well spent.
My money was well spent. So it is what it is. It's a beautiful campus. You had the nerve to speak to the assembled media and let these words come out of your mouth. It's nice to have a head coach that actually recruits.
He actually said that. He said that.
He actually said that, Left. And I said to myself, what?
Yeah. The coach of the year? That guy?
That actually recruits? What has Lincoln Riley been doing the last 3 years? Because they ain't been recruiting.
He been recruiting quarterbacks.
He hasn't been recruiting the rest of the roster. But you're finally with a head coach that actually recruits. Really? Really?
He really said that.
Okay. You're about to find out how hard it is to try and sell Lincoln Riley versus selling Marcus Freeman. That's what you're about to find out real fast. And oh, by the way, we've been banging USC for a long time now, bro. You're not changing a thing because you don't play and you don't coach. It's going to take you about 2 or 3 years to change anything. Okay? So all your little quirkiness, all your little goofy get-ups, do it out there on the West Coast.
Because you got to win with it too now.
Do it. Yeah, you got to win. You got to win.
And all that stuff don't matter if you ain't winning. Man.
Last I checked, Michigan is still better than y'all. Last I checked, Penn State is still better than
Oregon
y'all.
is still better.
Oregon is still better. Ohio State is still better. Right now, Indiana is better.
That puts you 6 places under. Illinois better.
Oh, hey, Left, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it, Left. I'm glad you did. I didn't want to toot our own horn. You know what I'm saying?
Illinois has been better the last 2-3 years now.
So, Mr. Bowden,
seventh in the Big Ten right now.
Mr. Bowden, the best thing on y'all campus is Juju right now. That's the best thing y'all got going athletically. That's it. Shout out to Juju Watkins in the show she put on Saturday night against UCLA.
Yeah, she had dropped another 30 ball.
Hey, man. Remember Cass was telling us she was overrated? I was like,
no, they'll take Hannah over her.
No. It was some Cass in the chat talking about she was overrated.
Oh, that's right. Because they said, yeah.
I was like, all right, man. Okay.
Yeah. Overrated is just like unfortunate that you would put it, because if she's overrated, then it's like, what is college basketball? What is girl college basketball if she's overrated?
So, Chad Bowden, I don't know if you're gonna make the trip October 18th, but if you do,
oh yeah, because you
just gonna watch another whooping.
It's the results gonna be the same whether you come or not. But the visit and the experience will be a little different if you come on down to South Bend, because you're gonna forget how cold it get. You out there on the beach talking your stuff, all your feet's in the sand, and you got the good weather. And then you're going to be dressed like the boys on the field every October.
Walking around.
Looking like a snowman. Got the whole...
Walking around in sandals.
You got the long johns with the ski mask in October. That's going to be you, Chad. You're going to get comfortable. Just like Lincoln Riley on his palatial estate on the beach with the overhang. I've seen his crib. I see why he gets a little lackadaisical. He gets a little forgetful that he has to have a defense because he fall in love with the glitz and the glass. Hollywood.
Yeah.
Heisman guy, 50 points a game. Oh, but you just lost Zachariah Branch. I don't understand, because that's on. I know it ain't on you, Chad, but you got to find another one. Can you do that?
I'll put a nice little bow on it with this, Left. Chad, you can point to all the positives, but those that know you attribute it to multiple losses in recruiting as well. But we're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep that hush hush.
Cause I can't believe you said
keep that hush
Coach
hush.
Freeman can't recruit.
We can keep that real hush hush.
What is Lincoln Riley recruited over?
Keep that hush hush. That's all I'll say. Lucky Lefty podcast. Particularly one, if it wasn't for, man, let me keep my mouth closed. You definitely almost blew a big one in 2025. But
looking like Nico Harrison.
Hey. Lucky Lefty podcast.
But that trade looked like it working for the Lakers now. Ooh, Luka Magic.
Luka might win a championship. Bron will never win another.
Bron's the second best player on his team. The league's in trouble.
You said, wait. Say that again. Say that. Whoa. Say that again. You said LeBron is what?
The second best option.
On his what?
He's
on
the
his
second
team?
best option
on his team.
Own.
Michael Jordan would never.
Oh my God.
Second best? Second best option on my team? Never. Hey man, let's go ahead and talk about real things, not narratives. Let's talk about real things. Mike Martin, the new GM at Notre Dame.
MJ was on the Wizards though. He
still was the best. He still was the best.
Nick Young.
Nick Young. He wasn't even on the same team with Nick Young. See, stop. That's you. But see, now that's where it is. That you showing your lack of Gilbert. That my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. That's what the word says. Stop, bro. Just stop. Mike Martin. This is what he had to say about his process, player evaluation, recruiting. This is what he had to say, Lefty.
I think to everything there's a process, and just sort of developing out those processes and being well thought out with those processes are a big thing. You know, even in evaluation, there's a lot more than just, hey, seeing a talented kid play football. There's a lot that goes into it, you know, digging and figuring out the background of kids. I'm a big believer in just the intangibles, so character will be a big part. And I know here, like, there's so many people of character that, you know, if you don't have that, and if you're not of a certain ilk, you'll be a little out of place here. So I want to make sure you guys understand process for me is it starts with some of the character. And then when you get to the evaluation process, it's identifying players that fit what we're looking for, not just on the field, but just in terms of as a person, people that are open to being developed, because it's important that we develop young individuals, and whether it's football players, whether it's athletes, whether it's employees that I'll work alongside. You know, it's just important to develop them. It's important that they understand that we kind of share the goal of trying to reach team greatness, right? So it's all a collaborative thing and a team thing, and team glory will be, you know, huge here. Marcus says it all over and over again. It's about team glory. So developing processes that will allow us to find those type of people. Efficiency is important to me. So just finding ways to be efficient. You know, I know that this is sort of, you know, it's a little bit of a crazy deal. You know, there's players all over the country, and you're hearing this guy's a 5-star, this guy's a 4-star, this person's a 3-star. So just trying to figure out ways that we can evaluate them and put our own thoughts on individuals. We won't be driven or led by, you know, magazines. Like we'll work closely with a lot of different people, and we have a lot of respect, but we'll have our own evaluation of people and players, and so it's important just to create those type of processes.
That's a very, very much an NFL mindset. That's very much an NFL mindset. He almost, I'll throw some flowers. He almost sounds like he's trying to come in and be Drake to UMG. It's like, dude, I'm not playing by y'all rules. I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I don't care what the 4 stars say. I don't care what the rankings say. We all know that rankings are political, because it's not hard to see. Is it hard to see who the top 3 picks in the NBA draft are going to be?
This year, yeah.
No, it's not hard. See, you're messing up again. You're messing up again.
You don't think it's hard this year? I think
No. The top 3 picks are the easiest.
this year, like last year, I had no idea about the French.
It's
dude that
Cooper
went to
Flag, Dylan Harper, and Ace Bailey. Those are the top 3 picks. It's there.
Hey, Cooper might stay.
Who?
They said Flag might stay.
Cooper Flag is not staying. Left.
That's what he said. He said he might.
I'm gonna bring back the petty train if he really is saying out here saying that.
Really?
Okay.
I mean, you know.
All right. Okay.
He's only 18.
Yeah. Okay. You say that. You believe that. Maybe he stays if there's a tariff put on NBA draft picks. If there's a tariff put on NBA salaries, then maybe he stays in college.
Sealed though, for real?
Say it again.
You think the top 3 is sealed for real?
Oh yeah. Top 3 is not. I don't know the order, but those are the top 3 players in college basketball. I mean, it's very easy this year.
There's no way you knew it last year. I'm not convinced.
No, last year was absolutely horrendous. It's a horrendous year. And actually, the French guys have actually played well.
The French guy's nice. The one for Atlanta, he's nice.
The one for the Wizards has played well. As of late, let's get back to Mike Martin. But I love his thought process about being non-traditional and having an NFL scouting background. I like that, Left. Because it fits what Notre Dame has to do anyway. Notre Dame can't be traditional when it comes to evaluation, offers, recruitment. So it sounded like it's a pretty good marriage, and Coach Freeman knew exactly what he was doing. But it also sounds like, I want to point this out, it sounds like he's going to be the GM and the dude that's really the head of recruiting. If they choose to hire director of recruiting.
That's what it is, though, right? The GM does both. I thought the GM did that anyway.
No. You still have somebody that is strictly over all the recruitments, right? Because he's going to be handling NIL stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot, especially with all the the Congress hearings on Capitol Hill this week. We don't know how things play out. July 1st, Georgia is instituting their own self-imposed $20.5 million cap and revenue sharing system. They jumped out front. They're like, dude, we're revenue sharing with our players. It goes into effect July the 1st. We hope the rest of the SEC follows suit. So,
well, not the whole SEC make the same money as Georgia either.
Basically, they're trying to establish a cap for everybody. That's what they're trying to do.
Right.
That's what they're trying to do. But I think Mike Martin, his experience in those non-traditional college ways, because college football is going towards an NFL model, Left. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, and I just like the fact that Mike Marks is speaking the language of Notre Dame, finding guys of high character, guys that have to be of a certain ilk to really even hang around and want to be at Notre Dame. And so he fits that. We don't need the on paper best players. We can find the right players instead of the best players.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got that, so to speak, down now. A lot of it does come from a NFL model, so to speak, in terms of archetype of players and the certain guidelines you like of players and this, that, and the third. So he fits that. Can he get a locker room full of guys that, possess talent along with the character that's going to be, it looks like, in the forefront of the recruiting aspect for him?
Mm-hmm.
What's your life like? What's your mind like? And then what's the football tape like? And I think that's the way that admissions works. And it's no different in the football system, except this is on a football scale of things. And with him having that, which is funny because at the end of the day, the NFL, they're getting talent over anything else. Let's not mistake in that. So, yeah, they'll take a guy with some character issues in a heartbeat. Like the James Pierce kid from Tennessee. They say he's the craziest kid. He didn't grab the first round. So let everybody not act like he's coming from the church GM recruiting. He's coming from
And see, that's
football.
why I don't like the word crazy as a label.
Okay,
There
yeah.
needs to be context, right? My
Yeah,
wife calls me crazy all the time, though. All the
Yeah,
time. She's like, dude, you have the worst case of ADHD ever.
ever.
Like I'll be in the midst of a conversation. It's crazy, love, because my eyes are I'm observing, and I'm
Yeah.
like in the midst of a conversation, and then I'll comment on what my eyes just picked up in my peripheral.
Can't help what you see.
But I'm here.
I hear you.
But I'm like,
did you see that?
yo, did you see that? But I'm here. I'm listening. And she's like, you are crazy. You need help with that. So the word crazy, when you label kids like that, man,
Okay, attitude problem.
because immediately when you think that, it gives a connotation to people. People download it in a certain way.
And maybe not so much him, more so the NFL is going to draft character issues. That's just what it is. Because they see
another thing the NFL does. See, this is the thing. Notre Dame is a winning team. This is the difference between college and NFL. Winning teams in college get the first shot at the best.
Yes.
Winning teams in the NFL can't get shots at the best because they're always drafting at the bottom of each round. So now scouting becomes even more important. You know what I'm saying? He's experienced both. When he started with Detroit, they were picking at the top of each round. The last 2 or 3 years, they've been picking middle, bottom. So he's experienced both. He's had to scout both ways. And so I'm very interested in how his experience is going to be able to impact evaluation and recruiting. And everybody has to, recruit character when it comes to Notre Dame. That's yes, Mr. Martin. You have to recruit character when you come to Notre Dame because it's a different place.
And we even see from the recruiting combine the types of questions that come from these staffs and GMs to these players just to see how their mind works, what they think about, try to get them off their guard, make them uncomfortable. Those are the type of things that, I'm expecting and it's a good process to have when it's not just about grabbing what's off of the top of the shelf. Notre Dame being, in my mind, what will be a 10 to 18, 19 slot in the draft every year because of how it shakes out.
This year they would be what, 31st?
So the amount of detailed recruiting you need, I think, can add to the experience of a Marcus Freeman who can get you in the door. I think Mike Mark's just a good closer. He knows what questions to ask, what the model of the type of player that Marcus Freeman is looking for. I think he understands that. And because of that, you'll get to see that come to life, that vision Marcus Freeman, like you said, come to life through his GM and the people he's putting in these places. And Mike Mark speaks a lot like Chris Ash, who is very much player. Both guys have dealt in the player personnel department, and you're starting to get a picture of what Marcus Freeman is truly looking for, and that's in terms of the type of players and his character first. And I think Marcus Freeman focuses on the type of player and then how that player can play and as a 1 and 2 combo. And I think both of these guys with Chris Ash and Mike Marks are definite player personnel type of people. Maybe not so much of the coaching like Denbrock would give you or Rudolph may give you or, even a Mike Makins would give you. But in terms of having the right players to cultivate, Marcus Freeman's going to make sure of that. So, you almost have to redo how you evaluate top-ranking classes. You almost have to do your ranking system of classes in a better way, especially if we're recruiting different. Georgia's going to recruit a little different. These top 4 or 5 stars, you're gonna see a lot more threes and a lot more fours and lower fours and different tier guys get recruited because we've got a professional recruiting service. We're not going in this just being let's grab the best in the from what we see online. We might pull out some guys that people may not even know.
You know what's dope? We don't even know what his network is, Left, because you just talked about Notre Dame might be on the verge of forming its own, recruiting service internally. Because his network as a scout, NFL exec, that's a brand new man. It's probably wider than Chad's.
Yeah, who he knows and who he can
Absolutely.
call, and I mean his reaches. I mean, being in the NFL and being in that, like I said, this is a meritocracy.
Mm-hmm.
This is no longer you hung around the building cleaning up the floors and now you're the head of whatever. This ain't that type of thing. This needs to be passport stamp. Where have you been? What have you done? And the success of where you're coming from. We don't want no geezers that's been in a place for 10 years with a team that's been 500 and he's just hanging around, but we want to hire him because he's 10 years in. No. In them 10 years, how many championships you won? What teams you've been on that's winning? What's hot right now? So not only do you have to be current, you have to have some success. You got to go some places. You got to get to the league. You got to have some league experience. You got to have. So it's definitely not a rise through the rankings type of place anymore, where you start as a GM, now you're the D coordinator, now you're the head. This is a group and collection of guys from all over, but highly trained, highly qualified.
Yeah.
NFL guys in the building, guys that got Heisman players that they've coached recently, guys that have been to championships, guys that have won championships, guys that have been to Super Bowls, guys that. So this ain't the rinky-dink staff that you would expect. Like every guy on this staff has a number one in something. So it's not just so it may be recycling through coaches, like we're cycling through getting guys in and out, but the guys that are coming in are guys that we did our due diligence. These are not our friends that we're hiring like we saw in 2015, 16 type deal. This is Marcus Freeman buffering himself with enough of the credentials to operate at a place that Mike Marks probably wouldn't come to a Rutgers. Mike Marks probably wouldn't come to one of these a Florida State possibly.
Mike Martin, not Mike Marks, the coach.
What I say? Mike Martin?
Said Mike Marks.
Oh, sorry, not Mike Marks, Mike Martin. But
hey, great offensive coordinator. Shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is Notre Dame, so that Notre Dame on its own side adds a professionalism to whoever comes in and decides to come in because they know what they're walking into is not a rinky-dink program. This is something that is just as elite as what you left from, maybe even more. So it's a win-win for a coach, it's a win-win for an admin, a win-win for a player, especially ones coming from the Northwestern Cats and all these other places. So I think this is a great marriage on how to take the next step after a championship, regardless of win or loss. But this is how you continue to win after coming from a 16-game season.
Yeah, continue to push the boundaries. Lucky Lefty Podcast, GTB question, Joseph Barrett. Thank you. SD, who is Carter Allman? Does he have what it takes to win in recruiting? Very interested in hearing your thoughts, feedback on this topic. Don't have too much background on him. He was very prevalent throughout the playoff, especially when coaches were just getting back from making the run to the national championship. His presence was felt heavily in the Midwest, especially here in Chicago in recruiting. He was the one that went to workouts, met with coaches, went to the schools during the early window when it opened up in recruiting. And so, he's had a promotion. So obviously they must trust him. And that's really all I can say about him. I haven't had a chance to meet him. Hopefully I do. Spring practice, shake his hand, and get to know him a little bit from a business perspective. But I hear good things about him from the work he put in the Chicago area in the Midwest during the early period of recruiting. So I know a lot of young men that got offers recently. Carter Allman was the one that was reaching out, making the offers for a few of those guys. I don't know how involved he was in the evaluation, but I do know he was heavily involved with some of these offers that went out during the recruiting period that just passed. Thank you, Joseph. I got John Massey, Lil Tunchi. What's good, fellas? Y'all got any thoughts on the theory the Mavs owners are purposely sabotaging the team to eventually move them to Vegas?
Yeah, we talked about that. I don't know if we talked about.
No, we talked about that like the day after the trade. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
what was being reported in the news. You never know with billionaires, man. You never know with billionaires, man.
View it in a totally different way, man. They don't even probably see it the same way.
You never know with billionaires. You just don't. The White Sox are one of the worst teams in the world, and they're probably about to get a stadium right on the lake, brand new. How you do that without winning, I don't know. The one they currently have, they got without winning. So that's billionaire business, bro. That's billionaire business. Lucky Lefty podcast. So once again, I think Mike Martin is a really good start. A really good start. And I want to make sure. You said our guy got a promotion as well, right?
Well, he got a raise.
Yeah.
So I hope he gets that promotion that he's looking for. But, Notre Dame is more of a build you up to let you fly, and then if you do good, fly back type of place.
Yeah.
It's not like a,
Yeah, so Carter Allman is listed as the director of recruiting, but I think someone else will still be hired in the future that he's going to have to report to directly. But in that recruiting room right now, he's the top guy. He's the top guy. I will say this too. How can I say this? Because I want to make sure that I say this, because people will run to like other boards, and so I want to make sure I say this respectfully and responsibly. I'll give you a hypothetical, Left. How comfortable would you be coaching a room? If you were the quarterback coach, if you were Geno, the quarterback that you guys offer and ultimately decide to slot will come down to you in collaboration with Mike Denbrock. Am I wrong in saying that?
Between Geno and Denbrock?
So you already have your 26 quarterback. Let's say Malik ZAIRE was the quarterback coach, Mike Denbrock was the offensive coordinator. You're trying to decide which quarterback offers you're going to send out for the 27 kids, and then how you prioritize those kids. That's a conversation between you, Mike Denbrock, and Marcus Freeman, correct?
Yeah, Marcus Freeman's in the room, yeah. Marcus Freeman may not be the pulling factor. He may weigh the opinions and then be like, all right, let's go this way.
So where would the director of recruiting fit into that? Because I'm like, yo, I'm the quarterback coach. He's the offensive coordinator. We really don't need you to evaluate.
Well, it really comes to how they want to operate it. Because if this is the case and you're setting up such, in a lot of senses, this is a polar opposite that you're setting in your room.
Mm-hmm.
Because it depends on who has the power. Is it Marcus Freeman having the final say? Because if that's the case, you're working two wings on the same bird. Is it the people of Aquas and their decision? Because that affects the GM and
So now you're talking about that's NIL slotting and
that affects a lot of what goes on. Because at the end of the day, it only works if Coach Denbrock and Gino like who Mike Martin is recruiting. If they don't agree, then that's the way it's gonna be. That's the NFL.
okay. So let's say
That's the
hypothetically,
NFL.
the recruiting department comes to you with the list. They've done the legwork. Here's the list of the kids we like. Ultimately, is it up to you in collaboration with Mike Denbrock to say, okay, thank you for the list of 10 kids. There's 3 kids on here we don't like. The other 7 kids, we're Gucci with it.
Is Denbrock and Gino recruiting anymore, or are we giving it to the GMs?
No, Gino's, I think the coaches, under Marcus Freeman, the coaches recruit.
Okay, now that's going to be a conflict of interest in the sense of who's sending them where and what to, and what are they doing in relation to what our GM's doing. If our GM is deciding, if Denbrock likes a quarterback and the GM's like, I don't like his character, what happens? What happens? Because then it's like, who has the power over who? If the GM has power over Denbrock, Denbrock's got to be accustomed to be given players that he can choose from, which is what Notre Dame probably wants to do at the end of the day from a Pete Pavakwa standpoint. And they just worry about coaching, but then that just changes the dynamic of everything. What is Mike Mickens doing if one of his superpowers is recruit? He ain't got to do it no more. So that's why I'm like, are the coaches still recruiting? Or is this laid at the feet of the GM and the player director? And do they give the list of who's recruitable?
Well, I'm telling you, from the 26 kids, they are receiving the offers from the DBs are talking them to Mick. I know that for a fact. Every DB offer is like, yeah, I talked to Coach Mick. Heck, all of the wide receiver offers that I talked to are like, yeah, I talked to Coach Brown. So these coaches are still very much.
But that's what I'm saying. The first year, fine. Year 2 or 3, they putting their roots in, just like Chris Ash. Chris Ash is oh yeah, of course, I'm just watching and taking notes.
Well, Chris Ash, as a defensive coordinator, is probably going to be a little bit more involved
in relation to
recruiting. He's probably going to be more involved in recruiting than
in relation to coaching and calling the plays. Yeah. Year 1, yeah, it's take notes. I'm running Notre Dame. This is not my stuff. Year 3 is his stuff. We're not going to get it confused.
Mm-hmm.
So but all that matters in what I'm saying is like, yeah, all this stuff sounds easily to fix now.
Right.
Easy going and, just do this. And then I'll ask you and you ask me and I'll ask you again. That's cool now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if it's cool year 3, 4 with these same guidelines and coaches and circumstances. Even if Denbrock leaves. If Denbrock leaves, it relinquishes the power, in my opinion, to decide what type of offensive players we're getting in. If Denbrock leaves.
That's the last frontier in recruiting.
That's the last frontier.
Wide receiver, quarterback, that's the last frontier.
That is the last frontier. O-lineman is like the last frontier. But right now, it's just interesting because
you meant D-lineman.
D-line, yeah. Because now we're getting into the territory of coaches coach. Let the staff and the other side of the building handle recruiting and all that. We don't deal with the players until they get here. And that's just the NFL model. That's what it will turn into because that's where Marcus Freeman's program, as a program builder, has to be in play of, okay, he's done a little bit of that before where he's denied coaches from other coaches wanting certain coaches to come in. He's made some moves on that. Oh, you want a tight end coach? Can't get him. We don't want that guy. Now it's going to come to a guy fighting over a player, and Coach Freeman got to step in and say, are we leaning the recruiter's way, the GM's way, or are we leaning to the staff's way?
Let's see, that for me is where it gets tricky, Left.
Yeah,
And I'm just speaking. I'm
that's what I'm
speaking from
saying.
my point of view. I'm not speaking from or speaking to anything that has transpired. For me, it's tricky if I am hypothetically the running back coach, right? And because look, Jaan Cider, we're gonna watch film on 2 running backs. One running back, Dylan McCullough, was going after
But we're
because.
getting Cider's
But
recruited.
there's another running back that is new on the list.
Cider may not like Missouri like Dina McCullough like Missouri. You know?
No. Well, we'll hear from him shortly. He likes what's in the room. He said
He
that.
like what's in the room.
He likes what's in the room. But no, in all fairness, if I'm a running back coach or any positional coach, outside of the head coach, when it comes to the guys that I'm going to coach, this is who I'm responsible for. I'm telling their parents, you can trust me with them. So I need to have, if not the final say so, I need to be right beneath on who's coming into this running back room.
But you lose.
It's all collaborative. I'm just telling you. You're saying where it's going. I believe you, Left. I believe you. It's going to dangerous territory. It is.
Because the parents are going to be less and less important. It's just because you can't take your GM everywhere. And eventually, when the power dynamics shift, where the GM is really laying down the law on these players as judge, jury, executioner, only because what else is a GM supposed to do? You know, and Marcus Freeman gonna be like, well, that's the job, bro. And I know we're gonna make exceptions, but it damages the parent relationship is because these position coaches, oh well, you gotta talk to our GM. Our GM thinks this of you. This is what I think of you, and this is the middle. Before we get this offer, I got to call. You know, I'm telling you, I want to offer you. We got to just confirm it through the G. Like, it's going to be them type of. So now the form of trust gets shifted when you throw a person in there, because none of these recruiting trips you can include you can exclude your GM. You can't exclude him.
Yeah.
Because at some point, all these recruits got to talk to the GM, or they'll hear from the GM or the player personnel guy. Eventually.
Well, the GM becomes the GM or the director. The recruiting staff, in my opinion, has three areas or 3 seasons where they are, this is where you make your hay and make your money and show your worth. That first season is spring visits. Because our coaches,
they come to you.
Spring visits, right? And visits in general. Like making sure that making sure you know what's needed. What does this kid want? I give Trey Taylor, got an article coming up in another week or so, literally told me the 3 things he's going. These are the 3 conversations that I'm having a conversation with this person, that person, and that person. And that's it. And I'm going to watch practice. That's it. I'm not coming up there to walk around, see the building, see the campus.
Yeah,
no, fam. I'm meeting with this person. I need to hear this from that person. I'm going to meet with that person. I need to hear this from that person.
I'm going for guarantees.
And I'm watching. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. I'm ready to make a decision. I put out my top 5. Notre Dame wasn't in it. Carter Allman came to see me. I said, I'll give you another look. I'll come to campus. Now he's coming to campus on the 19th. And he has a plan. That's it. And he already knows what he wants to hear. He doesn't want to talk to Mike Martin. I can just tell you that right now, Left. There's no need for him to talk to Mike Martin, bro. There's no need for him to talk to the director of recruiting or anybody in the recruiting staff. Them setting up the visit and making sure it's tailor-made to what he needs, that's of vital importance. So the visits are vitally important. The recruiting staff is also vitally important in season, Left. In season. Do whatever you do to make kids feel like their priority. Do the most. Do the most. As the kids say, be a pick-me. I just found out about that phrase this week, love. The youngsters had to school me to it. Like, oh man, she's a pick me. I'm like, what is a pick me? I'm like, doesn't everybody want to be picked? Like, what are you talking about?
You do not want to be a pick me.
You do not want to be a pick me. But sometimes for certain players at certain positions,
be a pick me.
You're gonna have to be a pick me. You're gonna have to do the most. You just have to do the most, especially if they have good character. So, Left, it's just one of those things, man. It's just going to be very interesting to see, and then, of course, closing the deal along with the coaching staff and leading into.
What's our GM going to feel? Because he's not choosing players. They got to choose us. So what happens when he's sold on a player? He's like, this is the guy we want, and he don't come. This is not the league where they don't got a choice.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I don't know the background for all GMs or recruiting coordinators and all of that. But if I'm a coach and I come to a consensus as a coach and I have a dude that's never played a down of football tell me about the room I'm coaching that I played, I'm going to have a problem. I'm going to just leave it at that. I'm going to have a problem. It's going to be, it's going to be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing. It's going to be some flipping of chairs. Like, bro, you think your title, just because you got a title, you going to tell me about evaluation and players? No.
Yeah,
no.
it's... Oh, man.
No. And see, you can... I'll just say it like this, Left. I'll say it like this because I'll go ahead and be petty with Mr. Dressed Like a Leprechaun out there on the West Coast now. I can be a little petty. Yeah. Mr. Dressed Like a Leprechaun on the West Coast. I'm just saying. You know how, like, you would see certain players committed and all of a sudden there would be a parting of ways? It comes from that type of foolishness, that type of stuff you're talking about. Who has the final say? Like, Notre Dame takes a kid early, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the process, it's like, yeah. Who decided to take him early? Was it the coach? Was it the recruiting staff?
All that stuff.
That's that type of stuff, Left. That's that type of stuff.
These titles gonna get people.
That's that type of stuff. That's that type of stuff. So I'm just saying, if I'm a coach that's actually played that position, I would be tight too. I'll be a little tight.
Can he push everything through him? He can only confirm and deny offers and who's accepted and rejected, because that does come to play. What if a quarterback that Denver been talking to, feeling good, he's like, Coach, I want to commit right now, early. I want to come in right now, right this second. Does Denbrock say, yeah, come on, or does he got to step away and take the phone call? Ask him.
No, you got to be honest. Like, hold on. Is this because it's bigger than the film? You have to have a conversation. We have to have a conversation. Where does he sit on the list? Because if he's third on the list, I don't want to take up a slot and we still trying to go after 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because the GM got it really organized like that.
Right.
Like, the coaches is like, okay, I'm going to take the one that wants to come. Like, I'm getting 3, I might get 1. We got a board now.
Hey, BK and them used to do that. There's some questionable. Go look at the past recruiting class. They used to take some dudes like
subjective. It was like, I like you today. I think we'll go with you. We'll just, and then he already committed, so my bad. Well, no.
And then wait a minute. That's what makes Lou Holtz at Michigan State Spartan Stadium. The story that Greg and Unc, they told us, Oscar, when that cat was like told the tight end after in the first quarter, hey, son, I'm sorry. It's not your fault. I made a mistake in recruiting you. I missed on that one.
That's not happening no more.
Like, dang.
Yeah.
Dang, Lou, you gonna just tell this young man, in the first quarter on the road, he's a mistake? But, that's just a little tidbit of, I'll leave it at that. Lucky Lefty podcast. Go ahead. Finish it off. You were about to say
Yeah,
something.
that's gonna really determine Marcus Freeman's coaching acumen as we progress, because now you done labeled and slapped titles on different things, and we all men at the end of the day and want to fulfill our duty, and at the end of the day, somebody got to say yay or nay.
Facts.
Who's getting offers, who's accepting offers, and who can't accept them, who can get one, who can't get it off. And just that little thing alone can destroy a program and build a program. Because not everybody's going to like the same recruits. Coach SEIDER got his guys he liked. And hell, Denbrock got to like the guys SEIDER like. Marcus Freeman got to like the guys SEIDER like.
Facts. Don't wait. That's the top three. That's the top three. That's the top three. No. Not in left. Understand me. Not in evaluating. Not in evaluating. Because evaluating can be collaborative. I'm talking about ultimately setting the priority list.
Yeah.
And making the decision.
Yeah.
That to take.
And then after you get through the staff, then you got to go through the GM. Oh, is he one of our guys? Is he got? So as a player, you got a list of hierarchies you got to get through in recruiting. The last is shaking Marcus Freeman's hand and kissing babies and him eating your mama's ribs and all that. That's the last stage.
But see, we need a GM to know. Ultimately, once again, I just told you about Trey Taylor. The GM ain't gonna have nothing to Chad being gone or Mike Martin being there ain't gonna make a bit of difference in Trey Taylor's decision.
Right.
He knows what he wants. He knows what he's looking at. See? So you gotta have a GM maybe that's like, dude, you not as big as you think you are. Little leprechaun. I'm being petty. Let me stop. Because ultimately, when it comes down to it, somebody said it in the chat.
Stop.
Parents want to hear from the head coach, the positional coach, and admissions. That's it. That's the top three.
Well, it's bigger now. You got the T-Mobile top 5. You got to be GM.
And wait. If you're a wide receiver, speaking of that, because Trey Taylor just came from the big event down in Miami. Guess who he was kicking it with? 2 wide receiver offers in the class of 26. That's who he got tight with. Notre Dame offers at wide receiver. That's who he was kicking it with. He told me about it. That's who he's trying to get to come visit with him when he comes up. So that wide receiver quarterback connection and recruiting is vitally important. I tweeted that out as soon as I got through talking to him. It's vitally important. It doesn't matter who the GM is at that point. It matters what Coach Freeman says, what Denbrock is talking about, what Gino is talking about, and what that play on the practice. What's CJ, Kenny, and Steve doing on that practice field? What's this offense looking like?
Yeah, hey, when
that's the determining factor, bro. Regardless of whether or not it was Chad Bowden or Mike Martin in that GM seat, the determining factor. You're not in the top 3. Maybe for certain kids, maybe it matters more. But for the top kids, Notre Dame making a run to the national championship game is probably a little bit more important than 26 in recruiting than who's the general manager. I'm gonna go ahead and walk out on the limb, left, and believe that. I'm just gonna believe that.
And what's this we take? What do you
coming off a national championship? It's a bunch of cats that could be GM that could put together a pretty good recruiting class with Marcus Freeman as the head coach. I'm just gonna go out on the limb and say there's a lot of guys that can do that.
You start ahead of the curve when you got Marcus Freeman.
Yes. There's a lot of guys that can do that coming off a national championship game. I'm just saying. Lucky Lefty podcast. Sorry, I'm not trying to be petty to the little leprechaun, but hey, it is what it is. Jaan Cider, new running back coach, Love, he spoke with the media, and this is what he had to say about the timing and why he chose to come to Notre Dame.
it's timing, right? There's never the right time, there's never the bad time. Sometimes you at the back end of it where you don't have no control of it, and you get, staff get let go, and you got to leave, and you're on a staff where you win and you don't have to leave. But we talked about it. Me and the family, it was just like you say no every year, or you don't want to also be complacent either. It was Notre Dame. It was Marcus Freeman. We built a relationship 14 years ago when we was young coaches in this profession through Jared Parker, who used to be here, that just went to Purdue, and we was on the road together, and we kind of hit it off. It almost like I was telling my wife, sometimes it's like talking to myself, and I talk to him, I'm talking to myself. And we just stayed in touch. And then we always said it had to take something special for us to leave, right? Whether it's a head coach, a coordinator position, there was some chance with some NFL teams, but when this opportunity came, we thought hard about it. We turned the phone off for a couple of days. The only person we really talked to was Marcus, a little bit here and there. And we just said, it was time to do something different, go challenge yourself, go walk in different shoes. And I felt comfortable doing that because at the end of the season last year, when I met with my two kids that came back, I told them, do not come back to Penn State, come back for me. Make sure if you come back for your own selfish reason, or you leave for your own selfish reason, and I will support you in any manner I can.
He said, don't come back for me. Most coaches wouldn't say that. He did James Franklin a favor.
He must have knew. He knew something. He was like, hey, man.
Don't make this decision.
My palms are starting to itch. I feel money.
Whoa, hey. He said, I got to say no every year, so don't make this decision based on, because I don't know.
Right.
But I do think it's one of those things, once again, Marcus Freeman being the reason why. That's just, it sounds so routine, but it also shows how special Marcus Freeman is and how rare he is, because that's not a common theme said by coaches transitioning between schools. Oh, I came here because the head coach specifically. The two things Notre Dame got going for him is that it's Notre Dame and that Marcus Freeman's there. You heard the man. He said, I got to say no every year. It's going to take something for me to leave. And it just so happens it was Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman. Two things. There's two things right there. Pros and cons list. If you get pros, Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame, it outweighs about 10 things on the con side. Because that's what I keep getting as the common denominator for all these guys. Oh, I liked where I was at. Oh, it was cool. It was great. But Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman called me. We had a couple of drinks of ONORA, and, them brothers was real cool. They didn't hit me with the come join the team. I got to hit him with that you one of us kind of thing. And that was it. He said, you don't want that ball James Franklin dude. Come get a guy with a hairline. And that, that's probably all it took. So
hit him with the Jerome.
So, but I think it is different for a guy like SEIDER, who has been to a lot of great programs, where this challenge is different than the challenge will be for Blanchard, who
good call.
Was
the transition. Yeah.
That transition is a little different. You GM, you big shot, you running things, you coming up. This is home. I ain't been a bunch of places. I don't really want to take that next step because that's a
big step.
I'm gonna be in the spotlight. I might want to just chill with my little money over here. For a guy like SEIDER, he's been in the spotlight. He's been everywhere and then some. Moving and adjusting to the moving life and all that. He's been there, done that. This is, for him, the next step in his career from a resume builder. He ain't got that Notre Dame on there. He got Florida, he got Penn State, done some great things, but this will be another step. He didn't want to make a horizontal move and go to an Iowa or go to even a Wisconsin. One of them, it's a good place. But doing it at Notre Dame where the spotlight's a little bit more intense, it's a little bigger, it's a better stage, it's on a college football level. Penn State's great, especially for running backs. You have Saquon, the two kids you got there now, and you got some great running backs coming through there. But Notre Dame, even with what Penn State's greatness, Notre Dame's coaching level is a little bit better. Get guys like Urban Meyer that went there, Lou Holtz, Charlie Strong was there. Brian Denbrock, guys with some pedigree on a coaching respect level, all-time great level, has been in Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Been through there, been around there. Because only a couple places where you really get stamped as a college coach where you can be legitimized. Oh, that brother been to the, was then Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame, Ohio State, Texas, and Michigan are the schools that if you've been through one of them programs,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you first in line. And if you're really getting picky, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Texas, you can throw Michigan in there, but they don't really, they real selective about who they, But them three places, you get a job damn near anywhere. Like for Marcus Freeman, where could he go? That's the next level outside of going to the league in college football from a standard expectation and spotlight place. Ain't no bigger place for Marcus Freeman, especially after you just went to championship and did a.
As long as he doesn't take, because the coach for the Browns is probably on his last year. As long as he don't take that Cleveland Browns job, as long as he on that Cincinnati Bengals job, I wouldn't be mad if he took the Cincinnati Bengals job because he got Joe Burrow.
He got something. He got
Joe Burrow. But that Browns job, whoa. SEIDER didn't take him long left before he figured out that Notre Dame was special.
Me as a coach, I always believe you coach the bottom of your roster no different you coach the top of your roster. And that's how you build depth, because your fifth can easily become your one. And so you got to prepare like that throughout the week. So I always believe in throughout the weeks that we in season try to have 4 guys ready, because it's hard to get 5 and 6 guys ready, but have 4 guys in a rotation where they can learn, they can have a process to be ready to play in the game, because there's an ankle injury, right? We play a physical game. We're the one position where every play somebody's trying to hit you, right? And so we have to have guys ready, and we have to build depth to be able to get to the championship, which Notre Dame did. You got to have depth. Injuries happen. I thought one of the greatest things to go play against this team last year, from my offensive point of view, they had a lot of injuries, and you never knew the difference who was in the game. Was a guy injured or this guy been playing all year, which is a testament to this program and what Coach Freeman built.
Second row on your right, Tom Noy.
Hey, Coach. Tom Noy, South Bend Tribune. What were your impressions the first day you were here on campus as a head coach or as an assistant coach compared to, or maybe in contrast to 1997 when you're a backup quarterback coming in here with West Virginia?
It's very different. I was on the winning side this time, so we ended up losing that game close. I really didn't get the chance to feel Notre Dame when you come in as a visiting team, because you just come in for business. You come to play the game, win and lose, go home, right? Like Chris said, when I got here, it was first class. Like when you come on this campus, you feel Notre Dame. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is, how to explain it, but it just felt different. You walk different, you talk different, you stand up different, you sit different. And I just think it's from the top, meeting with Father Bob, meeting with Sergeant Academics, meeting with Freeman, him coming to pick us up from the airport. It was just first class. And you understand why. Now you feel the why of Notre Dame. It's special, and that's why it's only one Notre Dame.
Hey, boy, he won me. That's why it's only one Notre Dame.
Yeah, that brother was talking. But
another believer. Hey, man.
It's just all the stuff
we thank God. We thank God for giving us increase. He keeps adding to the faith daily.
Yeah.
We got another one in the fold that knows that Notre Dame is special.
Yeah, you just because you gotta go through so much, man. You gotta talk to all these people. You why I gotta talk to you? You gotta talk to everybody. They gotta make sure they know you. When you meet them, it's always funny. They got a setup. You meet Sarge, he got his nice little bookcase and all these big ass books that you ain't never read, and you go meet Father whoever. He got the whole columns with Jesus in the back. It's just like, where am I at? They talking to you like, do you know what you're accepting? You're coming into the congregation, So you like, damn, what type of job is this? Yeah, okay, you forget you was on football, So you had to pray with with Father whoever about 5 or 6 times. You at the grotto doing the sign of the cross. You like, I thought this is for football. Like, no, this is an experience.
Right.
So yeah, I think Notre Dame is good at putting the process in front of you and explaining, listen, yeah, you want to be here, but you got to go through this. You got to do this. We have to let you know where you at. You got to get your bearings about you. This ain't just you only go to a football building on campus, which I did at Florida. So it's funny that he's talking about, yeah, you don't know how special. Because when I went to Florida, I only went to the football building and to the building across the street where I took classes. Florida is huge. The campus is ginormous.
It's another beautiful campus, by the way.
But I only saw like 1% of it in 6 months. Like,
that's crazy.
They ain't trying to take you to no.
Ain't no need. You play football, no
They're
need.
like the AD is here, cafeteria is here, your practice here. All the people you need to meet to get you into school are in this building. Like, you don't need to go. No, what you going? No. Notre Dame, they gonna take you to the Basilica because you gotta go to church and do mass, and then they gotta take you to the Golden Dome to touch the Golden Dome part to let you know, yes, this is real gold. Don't play with us. We got money. Then you gotta go talk to the fathers, and then you gotta kiss the babies over in the garage. Like, yeah, you. By the time you don't even spend time in the Goog. You get back to the Goog, Mark Freeman. Okay, so you want to come? You're like, dang, can I see the Goog? Can I see what the Goog got to offer? I done been to every other office. But that's the truth. But that's why you leave and like, damn, I'm tired.
It's different.
Yeah,
it's
I did more than a coach's interview. So, but saying all that to say yes, but that gets you initiated. It's like you're joining something big. You're joining a brand. And I'm sure there's other things, rituals you gotta do with other schools. Not that much. Like, I think we have the most at Notre Dame, most ritualistic type of things you gotta do to get there. But that's what pulls you in. That's why you say, okay, this is Notre Dame. I gotta tighten up. I got to do a little better. Because it's like one of those things where you walking in the pictures, you think the pictures are looking at you, but they ain't looking at you.
But you feel like it.
You like, damn, they looking.
Right,
You
man.
yeah. It's one of them places because you like, what y'all
It's
really
like, yo, I was in the Louvre. I remember being in the Louvre as a 16-year-old when I went on my French exchange visit.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I'm walking to that bad fella like, yes, you feel it carries the essence
gravity
of the time. You feel the
you
gravitas of the building and the people that have come through there.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's campus is the same way. Like, presidents have walked.
Yeah, you start feeling like, oh, this is a dignitary came in here, sat in his seat, and did it. Yes, he was just here yesterday,
right?
And he left his wallet. He got to come back and get his. Yeah, it'd be that kind of stuff. So and for guys like SEIDER, okay, I can do this. This is my next step. I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Guys like Blanchard, may be overwhelming. Like, let's be honest, this is not a place for everybody and every coach and every GM or whatever. You gotta want to take this step in your career because it can last you a very short time. You go around and mess around.
Yeah, facts.
Go over and mess around, you will not be there long. And then you gotta start, okay, do I want to put my career in jeopardy like that?
Right. I agree.
Because you also got to depend on a lot of different factors that help you out. Like, you having a bad season, it may not be on your position group or your team, but you can't have too many of them. This ain't a place where you can just go 1-9 and 1-11. You will be out of job quick.
1-9. Good Lord.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you
4-8 was bad.
Can't be that bad. Can't be that bad. So
Coach SEIDER also talked about the difficulty of saying goodbye, but also saying hello to a new running back.
You see everything when you compete, when there's a game going back and forth. So I really didn't have a chance to look at it that way because I was trying to make sure I handle the buys where I come from the right way. Mean with those kids to make them understand why behind this decision, right? Because they coming back wanting to be coached again by me. And that was hard because they're not just my football player. They become part of your family. They become part of my kids. So once I can make them understand the reason behind why I'm leaving, opportunity that I have in front of me is I told them the same way. Like, you go to the NFL, you're going to leave, right? This is an opportunity for me to step out and do something different. So now, to your point of Jeremiah Love, yeah, I saw that touchdown. That was a big part of the game. But now I get to dive into these kids and kind of see what they do well and areas we can clean up, or because they've been coached really well. D-Mac was a really good coach who I had a ton of respect for. So like I told the kids, you've been coached well, now you get to be coached again, and now you get to learn something different from somebody else, because now you can add that to your arsenal and make you an even better player.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. If you don't have anything else left, I'm gonna go ahead and go to, how he's gonna handle recruiting and rotations. This is Coach Cider.
When you go recruit these kids and you sit down and you talk to the family, you talking about taking care of their kids, right? We talking about the one position that everybody trying to hit you. All 11 at some point are trying to hit you at this position, whether you run the ball, blocking, you catching the ball. So, and then there's a part of us, if we get these high-level players that's going to play on Sundays, we got to make sure these kids leaving out with tread on their tires, right? And you may play 60 snap a game, but I got to make sure my best players in for the right 30, 40 snaps of the game. So when I can, you can take a Jeremiah Love and give him a break because he needed, and have him strong in that fourth quarter to go win a game like he did versus us in the Orange Bowl, that's smart coaching. It's like game planning. You don't always call a pass play. You're going to mix some runs. You're going to mix some screens. Well, it's the same way with navigating the room. Now, you got to earn what you get, right? And I believe that if you can go out there and show me you can pass protect on third down, because I'm big on, to me, that's where the trust come in. Knowing you can protect that quarterback. Because every guy in that room want to play on Sunday. Well, if you can't protect Pat Mahomes, you're not going to be on the field. So we always going to start with the foundation of protection. Because if I'm teaching you how to run, we recruited the wrong guys, right? And I'm an ex-quarterback, so I can kind of tell them and unexplain what it's like to play next to that guy quarterback, so it makes them understand the little things that you do and why you got to do them.
And you mentioned recruiting. How would you describe your strengths as a recruiter?
Well, I mean, it's about relationship. I think establishing relationship, establishing trust with the players, but it's not just the player, it's the family. Those kids didn't get there by themselves. It's the mom, the dad. It may be the grandparent that's raising that kid. It may be the uncle. It may be that person at the school that you don't think about. It may be that custodian that's really close to that guy, or whoever that may be. And to me, it's just find out the decision makers. Who are they? Who's helping this kid to make decisions, right? Because there's a transitional world we're in right now, right, with NIL and revenue sharing that's come along. But at some point, it's got to be even, right? And what's going to separate when Notre Dame can pay this and Ohio State can pay this, Penn State can pay that? It's relationships. Because we can all say we got the same things, but in the day, if that kid can come to me because I built the best relationship, well, there's a little bit of trust, and there's a little bit of, okay, I can trust this coach going to develop me. He's going to be there through my tough times, because every kid going to go through homesickness, right? Whether you 15 minutes down the road, you're on your own for the first time. Mom not there making your bed or fixing you breakfast. So it come down to relationship, and then it come down to outworking people.
I like this dude, man. That's a good replacement for Coach D-Mac, Coach McCullough.
I told you, Coach Cider, that dude.
It's a good replacement. Good replacement. I like him, man.
He's very much been around the world and seen everything, and I can just tell you how to go about it. And you listen to me, I can get you right. And you love those type of guys because they have a wealth of experience, but also they have a wealth of trust that's built in through their past relationships with other players and the result from them, especially when they reach back out and they they have that established connection and that you can feel confident in when he's telling you stuff. And if nothing else, you can just believe in the authenticity that comes through them. It's not a surprise to see Marcus Freeman acquire another great coach like that. Dean McCullum was very much like that, cool, calm, and collected, but very detail-oriented and believes in the same thing. The theme that you see from all these coaches and even these hires is their belief in the players and their sincerity about evaluating the right players and building the relationships. All of these are qualities that Marcus Freeman has in terms of what he puts first. He puts first that recruiting and that establishing relationships. And, you don't hear guys talk about football as much as, talk to Denbrock, he going to talk to you about football. And he'll talk to you about other stuff, but football. A lot of these other guys, especially these guys he brought in, even Mike Brown was relationships. I got to get in. I got to talk to these guys. I got to keep our guys. I got to get some more guys. So all these guys are relationship first. The closest guys to Marcus Freeman that have stuck with him, Mike Mickens, relationship and recruiting. That's why you get excited when you think about Mark Mickens, because he's relationship and recruiting. Marcus Freeman, relationship. Max Bullock's relationship with his linebackers. Chris Ash about relationship personnel. GM's about relationship personnel.
Yep.
SEIDER's about relationship personnel.
Seems like they all pulling on the same rope.
Now I need to get Al Washington on relationship personnel, but we working. He gonna be all right. He being hard. He gonna be all right.
Love.
He gonna catch the whip in the
Coach,
room and get the
you did a
snap.
great job this year. You did a fantastic job of coaching this year. Johnny 32, Lou Jack.
That's right.
Thank you for the super chat. Keep spinning it different, SD and left. Hashtag LL Nation. We appreciate you, Johnny. Much love to you. Blessings, man. Oh, man, you snuck that one in, love. You snuck that one in. D-Mont, Mr. Food, love our guy. Thank you for the question. Left, is there a game or a moment at Notre Dame you will always remember?
There's a lot of moments, man. I just think just the times in the locker room, all the times before the games in the locker room, you see how guys get ready. You know, guys put themselves in that mode, and then you run out there and just the excitement. A lot of it, you just want to get to see what that other team is like. You could have got to gauge it. You know, like how Lamont was talking about the fight. He said once he took Tank's biggest hit, he was like, okay, let's get it. You know, that's kind of what you're anticipating coming out. So that whole build up, the walk and all that, that's always memorable. But just every day, you know, I think it's the days that you can look back on and remember are the most memorable days.
Yeah.
And you'll never know until you get through the whole experience. You got to get through the whole thing and then look back on it and be like, that was one of my favorite days.
Yeah.
Because every day is a grind. You know, it's an uncomfortable place to be. From being a student to being an athlete. Because you feel like everything's watching you. You know, and it's probably not, but from expectations, the hidden agendas you don't know about, things happening and all around you, you got to be locked in. You got to be super tapped in and stuff.
Right.
Because you know, you're always worried about your tests, your grades, your game, a practice, a spot to be in, a club. It's always very competitive, what makes it uncomfortable. But if you're that type of person, it's a good environment to stay in, to not live in. So I think it's awesome, man. Especially Marcus Freeman's going to continue to carve out his place. And I think by making these great hires, he's even closer to that. And guys are just speaking the same language. That's kind of what you just get. Guys are all talking the same.
Yeah. All right. We talked about Coach Cider adding offers to the board. So let's get into one of my favorite offers in this running back room for the class of 2026. KJ Edwards, Carthage High School down in Carthage, Texas, 5'8", 185 left. And I'll let you check him out, man. He is a All-American, high school All-American, Max Prep All-American, and he really does everything left. He runs with power, run inside, outside, catch the ball. Runs a 4.40. Plays in one of the toughest divisions down there in Texas. You see his vision, his ability to jump step, jump hop, jump cut. I don't know what's going on with me right now. His ability to jump cut.
I like that he's got an exciting flair to him. You know, he's exciting to watch. And he runs with some energy. He's not tiptoeing with the football. And he plays with a lot of confidence. With running backs like this is good to have on your roster because you get excited about. Because the question that you just ask is, what does he look like versus dudes at the college level? He's maxed out athletically what he can do here. He moves great. He's got some good vision. He's hitting holes full speed. The only question is, can he translate that to the next level? Because if he can, then you can get a better evaluation of what he can and can't do. Right now, he's just running straight, running fast, and running over people. So this is him being a very well put together athlete. But you heard what Coach Cider said. Coach Cider spoke a lot about what we're not even watching now. Can you block? We don't know. But that's what's going to get him on the field.
Facts.
So,
Right. Coach Cider
know-
said you play a position that somebody's going to hit you every play.
so we haven't seen that. On running backs is a little different. I mean, obviously, if you look like this, you're going to get wanted by just about everybody. But in terms of how that translates to college, it just depends. This team could be all about him, or they just giving the ball to him in every aspect they can. But can you look like this when you're getting the ball 5-6 times a game? At Notre Dame, that's what we got to look for. You know, I don't think there's going to be a situation where we're looking for where we have the Kyron situation where we got to give Kyron the ball every time, because who else we going to give it to? You know, this is a Marcus Freeman roster where like we've seen through the season, Jaden Grayhouse can have a big day. O. Collins can have a big day. Jadarian Price can have a game. Jeremiah Love can have a game. Riley can have a game. It can come from anywhere. So how can he play when he's not the most important thing on the field all the time? So that's what he's got to understand when we're recruiting him. But also, you know, for Marcus Freeman, building rosters like this, is this a player that can be beneficial to you? Because if you're training 4 guys.
First of all, wait, let me stop you. He's beneficial, bro. That's a good problem. Getting a player like him is a good problem to have.
Right, but that's
I understand you're trying to build a running back.
That's only if the focus is on him. That's what we see now. I mean, clearly
that's not left don't know, because players can do what they're asked to do.
Not every player. Not every player's
but you don't. But that's what I'm saying. You're not the person. We don't know who he is as a young man. We don't know.
Not every player is looking to be a role player. I'm saying that to speak high on his talent ability. I mean, he's got great talent. I mean, talent off the charts. But I'm saying he's doing this every play. He's getting the ball and going to the end zone.
This is just the way it's edited, man. He's not doing this every play, bro. You act like he's. That's some mythical stuff that Derrick Henry used to do down in Florida.
No, but he probably got some good numbers, and he's probably done.
No, his numbers are absolutely fantastic. I'm just saying, you know,
look,
whoever edited his film, you did an incredible job. This is the way a film is supposed to look for an athlete. You're supposed to.
Yeah, you ain't got your mom filming in stands, talking about "Oh baby" and all that. That's not.
No. But this is the way your film should look.
I think he's a great prospect. I think he's somebody that we can definitely find useful. Catch out the backfield. He can do all that type of thing. What's his role defined in a room and on a team where, you know, to be the man?
Well, Notre Dame, he's going to do. And he's going to have to. Dude, he won't. Jeremiah Love won't be here when he gets here.
No, I'm saying
Jadarian Price won't be here when he gets here.
I'm saying Jeremiah Love being the man in Notre Dame is still 7 carries a game type.
Yeah, Jeremiah Love, just like everybody else, had to wait his turn.
Jeremiah Love at another school wouldn't be getting 7-8 carries a game.
But you already know what Coach Cider said. He said, I'm getting 4 players ready to go.
And like we're seeing with Keedron Young, what if you're the 5th player out?
Well, I don't think Keedron's gonna be the 5th player this year, bro. I think he's gonna be right there. He's gonna be right there next to Aeneas, bro. I wouldn't even worry about
Aeneas
that.
Is 3.
And Keedron's gonna be 4.
Jabron Payne getting in there at some point.
Left. Jabron Payne was the 3rd down back. Aeneas took that. So I don't know how that's looking, man, coming off injury. I'm just being honest. I love Jabron. I don't know. Lucky podcast. So Messiah Mickens also is going to be visiting campus, I believe, in the spring. He was a Penn State commit. He decommitted or opened his recruitment back up with the departure of Jaan Cider. Notre Dame is now in the mix heavily. They were heavily in the mix before he committed, because Dylan McCullough was hot on his trail as well. So
shout out
Messiah Mickens and KJ Edwards.
G. McDonald sending out nice little birthday, whatever this is.
What did you do for your birthday, man? Left had a birthday, guys. What did you do on your birthday, Left? Uh-oh. He's going, what is he going to get? What you going to get, Left?
No.
I thought you was going to get the Sean Don. Well,
No,
I thought somebody blessed you with the Sean Don.
no, I mean it was a great birthday, man. Couldn't have asked for a better one on the 30th. Went to 71 and above. Make sure you go, Sean, when you go back to LA. Go to 71 and above. It's the tallest building in LA. It got a restaurant at the top, and it's got a Michelin star for a reason, man. It was legit. I loved
Okay.
They had the 3 courses, and it was legit. I had a very good time. They had great food. It's crazy when you eat at really nice food places.
Give me about, I'll probably come off, but right now I'm in my, black business mode.
Oh
When I
my
go to
God.
LA.
I mean, okay,
That's my
yeah.
mode. I'm supporting. I'm just
Listen,
supporting, but
black people eat there.
I'm
Black,
doing
I see
that.
black people eating there, working there. Yeah, I mean,
No. The establishments, everybody eats it. Dude, the breakfast spot in the famous breakfast spot, the Serving Spoon.
yeah.
Dude, everybody eats there. It's in the middle of the hood. Literally, that's the beautiful thing about it. I walk in, I'm like, oh, you like it too, huh? You came here for the biscuits too, huh?
See,
Okay.
but this is colorless right now. We're just
No, I'm just saying that's the vibe I'm on. That's the vibe. The next couple of times I go to LA, that's the vibe I'm on. And then probably when my birthday hits in April, because I'll be out there. My wife is going out there for Beyonce the weekend of my birthday. I think
April.
she's in LA on the 25th, I believe.
Hold on now. Let
So
me
my
see.
birthday is on that Wednesday. So we fly out that Thursday. The Beyonce joint is that Friday on the 25th. So I'll be in big boy mode again by the time my birthday rolls around. So I 71st. Yeah, I'll get the 71.
Oh, she's on the 28th.
Yeah.
On a Monday, Beyonce, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be flying back that Sunday though. My wife is staying. I'll be back. Got to come back and do the Lord's work. I don't get no Sundays off, bro. I did just have a Sunday off though, low key, when I went out there for Valentine's Day. Didn't feel right. Didn't feel right watching service from the hotel room. Just didn't feel right.
Man, what bro did you get?
Say it again.
Are you close to the stage or are you far from the stage?
No, I'm not going. She's going with her best friend. Her best friend stays in Rancho.
Oh, you're not going? Yeah,
No.
I don't think it's meant for guys.
No, I'll be out there kicking it with Sid. No, when they're at the concert, me and Sid, I'll let you know what me and
That'd be
Sid
nice
are
to
doing.
go to, but I don't want to.
I'll let you know what me and Sid do, because I will not be.
Because I do not want to go.
No, those tickets are like $400 for like the SoFi tickets. $400 for like the 200, 300 level. Like,
yeah, they four.
yeah,
four,
that's ridiculous.
400, 600.
Yeah.
That's unusual, right? For
But that LA show, dude, I think the Kendrick LA shows are like 400 or 500. Tickets are crazy.
and that's per ticket.
Yeah. So we talked about Mike Martin, new GM, meeting with the press. Chad Bowden, just talking all types of craziness. We also talked about the running back rotation and the new offer, KJ Edwards out of Carthage, Texas. We'll see you guys. You doing it tomorrow, Left?
Yep.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow. Probably be talking about some more Chris Ash, and we'll dig more into this quarterback battle because it's almost time left. A little bit under 2 weeks before it gets started. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Have a great Thursday, but make sure you continue to spin it different.